what have they done this offseason? Sign a bunch of 35-year-olds? How's that going to work out? Yeah, maybe they get a Pete Alonso or Santander.
Here we go. Our next guest is Dave Schoenfield, who's a senior writer at ESPN. He joins us right now on FT for the first time, and I wanted to have him on anyway. But Dave, great to have you on. I saw your article, MLB Aggrieved Fan Index on ESPN, the 10 most frustrated fan bases of 2024. So happy 2025 to you. And how was it to put together the article? Depressing?
Well, it was. I'm a long-suffering Mariners fan, so I thought I showed restraint in not putting Mariners fans number one. But they're right up there, right? 4 straight winning seasons, but they haven't gone that extra step to kind of help them get over the top. But yeah, it was a little depressing to put it together.
Okay, so first off, yeah, let's go right to kind of picking at what you've got and how you put the rankings together. You put the Angels at number
How could
one.
the Angels be one?
See, for me, Dave, based on your factors, right? Like expectations and disappointments, the Angels' expectations now have been quite low for a while.
The Angels' expectations are the look on that kid's face in the graphic.
Exactly.
So, there are no expectations at this point.
Well, my question is, yeah, maybe they'll get there eventually, but I don't think fans have set the bar high for a while now. Dave, I think Mariners fans got a little taste. They've barely missed the playoffs the last couple of years. Their ownership is literally just putting on brass knuckles and socking all of their fans right in the nose and saying, you like this epic starting rotation? You get nothing in the lineup. You want us to spend in the offseason? You get nothing. You want us to be involved in Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes? We're not even going to place a phone call. So don't you think they should be number one?
Hey, that's fair. You know, the Mariners actually ran a higher payroll 10 years ago when they had Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz and Felix Hernandez. So believe me, I get the frustration. At least they've had some success. But yeah, they have a great argument at number one. My reasoning on the Angels, look, longest playoff drought in the majors, 2014. They blew the Trout Ohtani era, and they've tried to win. Like Marlins fans, Pirates fans, I understand. You know, they have a right to be upset because they don't really try to win. The Angels have tried to win. They just have been terrible at trying to do it. And what have they done this offseason? Sign a bunch of 35-year-olds? How's that going to work out? Yeah, maybe they get a Pete Alonso or Santander. But, you know, it's a long playoff drought for a big market team.
Dave, the reason you picked the Angels one is because you're a Mariners fan, so you couldn't pick your team one. So you went for someone in the division that's actually been worse than you. So I get it. I get it. Here's my argument of this list. Mariners, Twins, Cubs. 1, 2, for me, or 1, 2, 3. Because one, the Mariners, like Scott said, they don't spend. The Twins have a chance to run this division. They don't spend. They're cutting payroll. And then the Cubs are in a huge market, make hundreds of millions of dollars every year around Wrigley, and they're not spending. So if I'm a fan, I'm more upset about that. Now listen, I'm a White Sox fan. White Sox fans, they just suck, okay? We're not angry. We're just frustrated that, you know, they're like, oh, we need a new owner, whatever the fans are saying. That's their decision, but they're just not good, okay? The Mariners are pretty good, so they should spend, right? The Twins are pretty good. They should spend.
The Cubs aren't that good yet.
But the Cubs could be good if they go out and spend.
Yeah.
Right? That's, to me, are the 1, 2, 3. I get why. I get the list. Marlins, how can you be a Marlins fan and be angry? You know you're not going to spend. You're going to suck. You just fired your whole team. Your whole organization. I mean, the Cardinals, okay, maybe. The Cardinals have had like 1.5 bad years, right? I mean, it's not like the Mariners who have they went 20 years without making the playoffs, never won a World Series. Have a chance, we don't spend.
Right.
Okay, I should have put the Mariners number one. I hear you. And what's really frustrating is the Astros aren't what they used to be, right? They won the division with 88 wins last year. 2 years ago, it only took 90 wins, and the Mariners have fallen just short. And like I said, they used to run higher payrolls. We know they need a hitter. Jerry DiPoto, he's hamstrung a little bit. Every guy he brings in, Adam Frazier, Jesse Winker, Mitch Haniger, all these sort of guys that are past their prime, they don't produce. So, yeah, it has been sort of an unending string of things that just haven't worked out. And most importantly, you have this young staff when all these guys aren't making much money yet. You're blowing this window right now. Absolutely.
All right. So hit the Blue Jays. Are Blue Jays fans really frustrated? Like, what is their level of expectation? You can't be frustrated if you don't have it's kind of like you said with the Pirates. Like, if you don't have a real like level of expectation, how frustrated can you be? But the Blue Jays, where's their fan base even at, in a sense? Like, are they just hoping for the Raptors to have a good season?
Or the Maple Leafs? Yeah, I think the Blue Jays, you're kind of peering into the future, and you're seeing the fact that Vladdy might leave after this year. Bo Bichette might leave after this year. You fell apart last year with a bad year. You kind of blew that window. Now the Orioles have passed you. The Red Sox are surging. They're going to pass you. And where's your team? You trying to sign free agents? Nobody wants to go to Toronto, I guess. So I don't know. The future in Toronto looks pretty bleak to me, even though, again, they're a big market. They should be able to spend more money than they do, and they don't.
All right, so on the list there, you have the Cardinals, okay, and AJ kind of hit on it. They shouldn't be frustrated because they never really get too happy or too sad. Who would be the team that you would replace with the Cardinals? Because you have to leave the Marlins in your top 10. That's just a lifetime organization of pissed off Cardinals fans. Never really get mad, but who's on the outside that you would say, okay, you know what, Cardinals fans, you kind of have to suck it up. You don't have Yadier Molina yet. He'll be the manager next year. But who's on that? Who's the next team that you're like, if you agree with me, you bump them off, that you'd put in that top 10?
Yeah, I'd like to hear if you guys agree with me. I was going to put the Guardians on there, but my editors were kind of like, no teams that made the playoffs. But isn't it frustrating to be a Cleveland fan? You have a great baseball operations department consistently putting together good teams. You often make the playoffs, but you get to every offseason. Oh, we got to trade Jimenez. We got to trade Josh Naylor. They, again, as I always say, the most important person in any organization is the owner. And the Cleveland owners don't spend. And that, again, the AL's down right now. If Cleveland made a couple moves, they maybe could go to the World Series, go a step further. So Cleveland, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
As an athlete, I care about what I put in my body, especially when it comes to protein. But can we also get some protein that tastes good? Come on, it's 2025.
Todd, that's why this podcast is sponsored by Orgain. Orgain believes real nutrition has the power to make a real difference in people's lives, and it tastes so good. Orgain's new 30-gram complete protein shakes offer protein-packed real nutrition designed to satisfy your cravings without any added sugar. They're also an excellent source of premium ultra-filtered protein with all 9 essential amino acids.
FT loves Orgain, and you'll often see it on the desk in the studio as we fuel up before and during the show. We love it for muscle support, recovery, and more.
Remember, there are no quick fixes when it comes to your health. If you want more protein, give Orgain 30-gram protein shakes a try. Head to Orgain.com/FOUL30 and use code FOUL30 for 30% off your order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use the code FOUL30 for 30% off.
I can see that.
Oh, I'm all in.
Yeah, because Cleveland can spend, much like I said about the Twins. I mean, they should spend.
Shouldn't Cleveland be there, in my mind, over St. Louis? I'm with you guys. The Cardinals have had plenty of winning. I know they've only had $100 million contract in free agency, but they've spent on Arenado and Goldschmidt even lately. It didn't work out for them, but it worked out for a long time there. They're reshuffling the organization now with more help. You're right, Dave. Cleveland, have they never won a World Series, or they haven't won since like the 40s or something? Something crazy.
1948.
Okay. Yeah, so nothing in our lifetime. So, Dave, I'm with you because they did do a little bit more during their last World Series run that got them to, losing to the Chicago Cubs in 7 games. This time around, you're looking even this year, you're like, this team's good. And they've just decided that they're going to spend significantly less from now on and almost rely on their front office. But you're right. I mean, you look at the team and you're like, this team's really good. They can surprise some people. But are they going to win a World Series? No.
Yeah, you look at their payrolls, they went up a little bit in 2016, and they went to the World Series. 2017, I think they won 100 games that year. And then they're like, oh, wait, no, that's too much. We got to cut $30 million off our payroll. And they're lucky they're in a weak division, winning it last year. But, yeah, they just won't go that extra step. And we all know about the local TV deals and how that is being used as an excuse. But, yeah, it's tough. 1948, that's a long time ago.
Dave, all right, there's 2 things that make me laugh about this list. Besides, the A's aren't on it because you can't put the A's on any list because we don't even know where they're going to play in 3 years. So the A's are out. But you got the Rockies on. You got the Rockies and the Pirates on here. They're not. The Pirates and Rockies fans aren't frustrated. They just know what they got. Their owners aren't going to spend. I got my purple shirt on today, okay, for the Rockies, right?
Wait, yeah, add me on.
Right, because
Dave
listen,
answers.
the fans of the Rockies just know. They're like, oh, we get some good players. We're trading them. They're going to draw 3 million fans, 2.5 million.
Did you see that in the article?
We're going to be, I haven't read the article because I can't read, according to Ken Rosenthal. But like they draw their 2.5 million to 3 million every year. It's a happy place. They got Dinger, the Triceratops running around. They hit some homers. They do okay. It's a beautiful ballpark. But are they frustrated? I don't know.
They're not showing it. Before Dave answers, in his article, he wrote about how they've had back-to-back 100-loss seasons. But this past season, coming off a bad year and still being a bad team, not having done much in the offseason, they drew 2.5 million fans. That ranked 15th in baseball. Teams they beat on attendance: Royals, Tigers, Guardians, Brewers, Orioles, Mets. The Rockies, 15th in attendance. Dave, it sounds like you, me, AJ, and Kratz are more pissed off about that situation than the fans are because they just want to have a good time at the ballpark for a night.
Yeah, they show up. The Rockies must have the best marketing team in baseball because they're convincing fans year after year to show up despite just an awful product. They're not even interesting. They don't really have any good young players. So yeah, I can see bumping the Rockies. I mean, I don't know what's worse is you former players being on a terrible team that has no chance, or being on a team that's close and your owner won't go out and go the extra yard. I guess it's probably
the second one.
Yeah.
The second one, being close and not spending. If you go into a year like when I played for the Braves, in 2015, we just knew we were going to be awful. So you just know going in like we're going to suck. Fine. We're going to do the best we can. If you have a good year, they'll try and trade you. But if you're on a team that's pretty decent, and then you get to a point where, especially if you're a bunch of young guys, and then you're like, okay, we can take the next step if we go sign some people, and you don't, that is frustrating as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you look at a couple of years ago when Cal Raleigh, last game of the year when the Mariners just missed the playoffs, he was ticked off, right? Spoke out against the lack of moves being made. So, yeah, players will speak out.
Dave, he didn't. Remember, Dave, he didn't. He changed his mind after.
He retracted it.
Remember, he's like, no, I didn't say that. That was misquoted.
Yeah,
even though we had him, I think on video, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he was misquoted.
He said, blink twice if you need us.
Yeah.
Blink twice if you need help, if we should come rescue you. If Kratz should come blowing through the door and just beat everyone up. All right, Kratz, you're up. What do you got?
All we've talked about is organizations, fans who don't spend, or organizations that don't spend, their fans are frustrated. Which of these are the fans frustrated with the product on the field, like not executing what should be happening? I get it. End of the day, if you spend more, you're going to have a much better team. But which of these fan bases is most frustrated about the fact that, holy crap, we have a good team and they suck?
That's a good question. I mean, look, the Yankees don't suck, but 2009 in Yankee land, that's an eternity. You haven't won a World Series. And I know the fans, they kind of seem okay with the way this offseason has unfolded, losing Juan Soto, but making the moves they've made. But, right, I mean, the Yankees are supposed to win. And one World Series trip since 2009, which was this year, and you lost. I don't know. Yankee fans, the ones I know, they're not too happy right now, even though they have a good team.
Yeah, but they're not happy unless they win a World Series. Only one team gets that. I just got a question from a fan saying, what about the Phillies? And I get it. They've had some disappointing postseason results, but I'm like, it's awesome to be a Phillies fan right now.
Phillies won the World Series 2 years ago, and they're spending money in the fans.
No, they didn't win.
They didn't win, but they still were there and they competed.
Oh, you're saying you're in the World Series. Yes. In the World Series. Also, it's not like they haven't won in decades. They did win in the 2000s. They do put a lot into their team. It's a vibe at the park. Like that is not for this list. Okay? I don't think the Yankees are for this list. The teases, Dave.
You could almost throw the Red Sox on this list. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You could have thrown the Red Sox because if you talk to a Red Sox fan, we have one on here, Jeremy, one of our directors.
Yep.
He is Red Sox Central.
And
he
that's
is
probably
as frustrated
the team we
as
should have put on there because
Orioles.
They didn't make the playoffs last year. 3 straight non-winning seasons. I like the direction that they're going and the moves they've made and all that young talent. But you're right. You're the Red Sox. in 18 and 19, you had the highest payroll in the game. Then you're like, well, let's cut salary. Let's trade Mookie Betts. And now you've kind of been wandering in the wilderness for 5 years. And that's not the way you're supposed to operate in Boston.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, Orioles, right now you can talk to Orioles fans. They're probably pretty frustrated too.
Yeah. All right, so I've got one more because we're going to try and finish on a positive note. What about the team that should be ranked 30th on this list? Which fan base should be the happiest? I actually think it might be too obvious an answer, so you might want to give me number 2 as well, but go for it.
I mean, right, we all know it's the Dodgers, right? I mean, best team, most exciting team, owners spending money up the, whatever, bringing everybody you want that you need. So Dodgers clearly are the happiest fans in baseball. Number 29? That's a good question. I mean, I'm going Phillies. You go to that park, fans are having a ball. I remember talking to the owner, John Middleton, a couple years ago before a playoff game, and we're on the field before the game, and he looks up as the crowd's filling in, and he says, what owner wouldn't want this? You got stars galore. They love Bryce Harper. So I go Dodgers, Phillies.
Okay. Dodgers is an easy one for me. Yeah. I'll go Braves for the second happiest franchise.
Braves are a little bit.
Yeah, but
Braves
again,
fans are a little bit mad this year.
They're mad this offseason, but they've won a World Series recently. They have a consistent winner. They have a great ballpark experience. They have superstars. They keep their superstars. I'm like, what are we upset about? Because we haven't won in a few years? There are a lot of fan bases I'd like you to call and spend some time with. And they can tell you how it's okay that just because your team always does stuff in November and now it's January and they might do stuff in January instead. Come on. Don't you think they're a little spoiled right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only gripe the Phillies have is they haven't won in the postseason lately. I mean, they haven't, they didn't come up in the World Series, obviously, and then they lost to the Diamondbacks and whatever. But anyway, Dave, this was super fun. Thanks for writing the article. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully more people click into it now because they can get a lot more context there. But enjoy the rest of your offseason.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.